Okay. This I want to cover because, I always love covering comedians who tell offensive jokes, and then particularly so if they get blowback and then don't apologize. That's my favorite combination of things. So, this week, this is David Lucas here. I met him in 2020 when I did Kill Tony, and he kind of blew up because, yeah, mostly through Kill Tony. Wouldn't you say that's fair, Lila? Tony
Yeah.
Hinchcliffe sort of took him under his wing. He's very funny. I did an episode of the Mia show with him this past summer, and now he's like a touring headliner. So this was tweeted out by a woman that I believe was in the audience of this show. She said, in a desperate attempt to appeal to his white audience, a certified raccoon comedian makes disrespectful jokes about George Floyd. The raccoon, oh, she's calling him up.
Oh,
Okay,
oh, oh.
okay. I was just like, oh, what is she loves woodland creatures?
Oh, no,
She
no,
went
no.
on. she- the comedian also went on to mention that he likes Kyle Rittenhouse. While multiple black audience members got up and left, the white people in the audience sat there laughing. Okay. I want to know. And Funny Bone is a national chain. So if anyone has any clue which Funny Bone this is, let us know in the chat.
Hmm.
Oh, man, all these fucking good ass white people at my show. And you wanted to show them the reason George Floyd got his neck nailed off.
This is a little bit like we're missing context, but
Don't ooh at that joke. It's just a joke, man. I would have never kneeled on George Floyd's neck. I would have shot that nigga. That was making us look. It's called comedy, nigga. I mean, my black friends I gotta hear that might leave. Oh, good shit, man. I got. Cause nigga, I was just warming up with that George Floyd shit.
yeah, that sounds like a riff.
You ready to go? All right, baby.
You took it too far. See, I wonder how many
baby,
people
with the brains?
have walked out at
You
this
offended
point.
too? God damn, man.
Is it
Stop.
3?
Y'all good? Or y'all about to?
These captions are funny.
Oh,
We come here all the time. We've never had to complain about anything. Oh, okay.
I like Kyle Rittenhouse too.
Yes, I love the doubling down.
I like Kyle Rittenhouse too. You too, bro? God damn, bro. Oh, but you fuck with me a little bit, right? See
He's got
that?
fist bumps. Because you know what?
Yeah,
I'm gonna
one more
pause this
guy.
for
Damn,
1 second. You
man.
find this a lot. Like we've all walked some people in our day, but usually it is like you've pissed off the woman in the couple or the woman in the group, and she wants to leave. So then the guys, you see it every time. The guy sort of like does this, like, we came in the same car, like he kind of finishes. He takes a few more bites, and then he eventually has to walk out. That is like 9 times out of 10. I think that's what happened with this man here too.
That nigga don't even want to go, but his ride leaving. He don't even want to go. He like, man, I don't like George Floyd either, man. That nigga had fentanyl. God damn, you gotta stoop low for a joke. George Floyd would have robbed you too, bitch.
Wow. Okay, so this doesn't. I wish I had a little more context for this joke, but from what I am seeing, and by the way, Twitter has limited the reach on this tweet because I guess a bunch of people reported it for hate speech.
Okay.
It's kind of insane.
That's funny because, like, on a scale of like 1 to offensive jokes, that joke, it was edgy, but it wasn't that offensive.
It was American football, not rugby, right?
Yeah. Yes, exactly. It was American football, not rugby. But it wasn't. You know what I mean? It wasn't too bad. Like, I think it's like that woman probably attended looking for a reason to be irritated and decided that was her reason to go full Karen, and then she left. But kudos on him for doubling down. It's very impressive when people do that.
It seems it was really just the mention of George Floyd's name that was enough to trigger.
Like,
the
right.
people in
Did
the
you
crowd.
know him? Like, did you, what? Did you, I mean, have the same drug dealer? What?
Yeah.
Why?
Did
I
you
mean,
sell him his last fentanyl? Like,
right.
what's the connection?
I mean, I understand the death of, no, I mean, it was a horrible thing that happened, right? But like, you chose to get so offended by this before even letting him finish his joke. Get
Right.
out, please.
And it's
Good,
this idea
please.
of like, well, if you're of the same skin color as me, I can't be critical of anything you ever do. It's like, let's just completely disregard that he put a gun to a pregnant woman's belly, that he did a lot of drugs. He was not an upstanding citizen. He was not a pillar of the community.
Right.
So yeah, I guess. And again, like you pay money to go to a comedy show, and it's just the hypocrisy, because if he was up there making fun of white people or making fun of, I don't know, Tucker Carlson, like they'd be laughing. Well, who knows if they would even know who that is. But like, it's perfectly fine to make fun of white people and do white stereotypes. But the second you mention George Floyd, it's like, oh, yeah, right. He did porn too. And,
Right.
and again, you come into a comedy club, you need to prepare to, you're going to be if you're not offended at something, then you didn't get your money's worth. I don't know. If it doesn't make you think, make you gasp, make you groan, you're going to feel something. It's a live performance.
That woman at the, what's that?
I've only walked out once. And it was
Why did you walk out?
And it was only out of fear of safety, because they're whoever it was, I wish I remembered the comedian's name. He got mad at one of the comments for the heckler, and they got into it.
You remember the comedian, Carmen?
No, I don't. But I just remember, like, he started coming out into the into the lane. We were at the Improv in Addison, and it's real tight in there. And he started coming down like the row that we were in, and I was like, I am not comfortable with this.
I was going to say
it was or a heckler was.
That he was coming out to fight the guy. Like, it was crazy.
Oh,
the comedian.
It's Mark
was.
Norman's show. Right?
Yeah. And so
wow.
I just grabbed my bag and went to pay and said, I don't know what's going to happen. And they continued for a while.
That's not being offended. That's just being skittish. I'm always constantly afraid that somebody's going to just set off a bomb or something. Like I don't blame you there. If you're like, okay, I don't want to be in the
yeah, as long as my and I get offended every time I go. Something offends me. I mean, I think it also helps you go, okay, why do I have to work that? What's there that I have to work through?
Do you think each of you, can you think of something that if a comedian said on stage, punchline or not, that would make you want to walk out? Like, is there something you can think of?
Maybe
I do.
Okay, what about you, Lila?
If they were like, I have a bomb and I'm gonna blow this place up, I'm getting it's like,
Okay.
I got a bomb.
Wait, this is the setup. Okay.
Yeah. But no, I feel like, okay, first of all, I just feel like because I do stand up, my tolerance for offensiveness is so high that I'm like I remember just like last weekend I was at this comedy show and I was talking to a couple comics and they were talking about this comedian that they don't really like, a comic that goes to the open mic, and they're like, oh, he's so offensive. He talks about how there's like kids in his dungeon, and I'm like, it's hilarious. I think it's hilarious. I'm like,
like his name's Jeff Epstein. He's older.
But I don't know. I just feel like we've been doing this for so long that your tolerance for offensiveness is just, there's no cap.
Because you've heard it all. Yeah.
I've heard it all. Nothing offends me. I've made fun of myself so much. I've, when you face a lot of rejection, you get through it. You're kind of just like not very triggered. So I really don't think that there's anything, unless it was like, I don't know. I just feel like, I don't know. There's nothing that could really make me walk out and leave.
I think it's dummies drinking in a basement and then they go, I'm going to choose to be offended by this because I've had one too many, pina coladas for $18, right? You wouldn't. The woman, the country club woman that I walked that one time, whose husband was drinking at the bar, like, you were pouring your heart out up there, and she just had to fucking ruin it. She came up to me after the show. You don't tell those jokes in this town, and I went, we're in
What is she throwing you out of
Pennsylvania.
town like a spaghetti western? Like, what the fuck year is this?
I was like, everyone else seemed to like it. You stood up,
and then
raised
she
your hand.
spit into a bucket. Ding.
Right. Yeah. And then I said, I honestly, your husband wouldn't stop following me around. He followed me outside to smoke a cigarette to apologize for your behavior. And I was like, everybody, and I said, I was very nice. I said, I would recommend not coming to a comedy show, because if you're afraid of it's a gender reveal party joke. Okay. It's about the most ridiculous thing on earth. Yes, it touches on abortion, but grow the fuck up, lady. Grow up, or go and not laugh in your home and knit. I don't know what to tell you. That's it.
I think people that are triggered, when you don't examine your triggers, and everyone in your circle kind of has the same triggers, and you don't have a friend or a family member to challenge that and to help you break that down. Not that everyone has to be in therapy, but like, I
Probably
think
we all should be.
I notice the people who just walk out, and it's like they hear a word, it's an emotional a word, or in this case the name George Floyd. It's like the emotional response overrides the thinking part of your brain, the logic part of your brain, the realization that you're in a comedy club, you are not being personally attacked. This has nothing to do with you personally, but it's like it's like you've been conditioned. Like, hear a word, hear a name, hear something, and I have to either fight or walk out or yell at somebody. And I noticed that too with like Sarah J when she walked out on one of my shows. She's this porn star, and who says the N-word in her porn will say it to the face of a black guy. She will say the N-word while this said black guy is having sex with her. But someone else says it on a show. She walks out. So it's like, I think it's a conditioned response. Like, oh, this is the thing. I have to get up and walk away, or else I'm going to lose money or customers, or else I'm going to lose, I don't know, clout or respect in my friend group, or I have
that's not
I've been conditioned
triggered.
to take this stand.
Yeah, that's not being triggered. That's an intentional, I'm going to take a stand against, instead of having an intelligent argument for why maybe you shouldn't say that word. She's like, I'm just going to I shouldn't be here because I'm going to lose money because I don't have anything to say to be like, hey, maybe you shouldn't say that, or this is why this is wrong, or let me give you my opinion on this. If you're triggered, like, I don't know, you see your ex beat the shit out of you, and you see his a photo on Facebook or something like that, and you're like, that's triggered. If you just go like, this is not for me because I don't want my people to know that I was here, that's just, you're an idiot and you should have a response to it.
And even what that audience member was saying, you should know about George Floyd before you mention his name. It's like, we all know all about George Floyd at this point. Like, his biography is out there.
We know about George Floyd all the way down in Australia. That is
we know
how
too
far
much.
the knowledge we know way too much about George Floyd.
It's like, yeah, he was a degenerate. This is not like an MLK situation. Ghost Crusaders, thank you so much for the orange boy. It was not a horrible thing that happened. It looked horrible, but when you do research and find out it was all a lie, according to the forensic pathologist, his neck wasn't broke. He has become a god to the ignorant King Floyd.
The video was horrible to watch, and the loss of any life is all I meant. That's all.
The optics were terrible, and certain folks very much took advantage of that.
True. And I mean, I think on all sides it was just it's just a terrible situation is all I meant.
Definitely horrible. Yeah. Definitely horrible. It was horrible that it was, every aspect of it was horrible.
Right.
George Habib podcast, the more it's done, the less it's taboo. Keep it up. And even like, I don't like hearing about pedo stuff. But again, as I say all the time, the edgier the joke, the juice has to be worth the squeeze. The edgier subject matter, the funnier that joke's got to be,
Yeah.
or grown worthy. So it's up to enter at your own risk for subject matter.